You're listening to Small Business with Steve Strauss, USA Today senior small business columnist and the country's leading small business expert. Small Business is the show where Steve speaks with today's top entrepreneurs, authors, inventors, and experts. What makes them tick? What are their stories? What inspires them, and what lessons do they have to share? Let's find out. Here's Steve.
I have a question for you. What is your secret sauce? I think the fact is that anyone who's been in business for a little while, has figured something out that makes them different, unique, and special. Otherwise, you wouldn't be around, right? So today's show is about secret sauces. Coming up in the feature, I'm going to share maybe the best secret sauce ever. It created a business out for two college students into a multi-billion-dollar business that you use every day. And they had a little secret sauce that made a big difference. And then coming up in our interview, I'm going to be speaking with Andrew Molz of the Andrew Molz Agency. Andrew is one of the top Facebook marketers around, and we're going to be talking about Facebook advertising because Andrew has cracked the code of Facebook advertising. He's figured out some really clever ways to help you, to help small business, make a whole lot more money using Facebook ads. We all like the idea of Facebook ads, but how the heck are you supposed to do it? Andrew knows how to do it, and he knows how to do it really well, really effectively. So let's figure out his secret sauce. Let's figure out the grad student secret sauce, and maybe we will help you discover your secret sauce today on Small Business. Who would have thunk that a simple backlink on a website would change the world? Not you, definitely not me, but to two Stanford graduate students, that link was the key, the magic, the, secret sauce. It was 1995, and Larry and Sergey were students in computer science trying to figure out a pretty simple thing, really, which was there had to be a better way to locate what you were looking for on what was then known as the World Wide Web. Back then, the option basically was to type in a search term into one of the search engines of the time. You remember those, Alta Vista and Ask Jeeves and Lycos and things like that, and then wade through scores and scores of mostly stupid, irrelevant pages that these sites would cough up. And the results usually were stupid and a waste of time because the search engines of those times ranked sites, and you may remember this and you may not, based on how many times a search term would show up on a web page. So given that, early webmasters would figure out that all they had to do was stuff a page with search terms and voila, the page would get ranked high. It was ingenious and ridiculous and nefarious all at the same time. For example, let's say you're trying to sell some boots. They would simply repeat and stuff a page with the term boots and its synonyms, galoshes, waders, mucklucks, shoes, hiking boots, blah, blah, blah. And hope that they would strike internet gold. So this was called keyword stuffing, and it made for some really, truly horrible websites and web results because you would just get page upon page of useless websites that were stuffed with terms and really nothing else, and it created awful content, too. I have right here from Google an example of keyword stuffing, and it's an ad that once ran. It said, "We sell custom cigar humidors. Our custom cigar humidors are handmade. If you're thinking of buying custom cigar humidors, please contact our custom cigar humidor specialist at, yes, of course, customcigarhumidor.example.com. That was keyword stuffing, and it was terrible. Well, Sergey Brin and Larry Page figured there had to be a better way. And so in 1996, the two began working on writing code for a different sort of search engine, one that would not look at keyword stuffing, but instead would do two things. One, rank a page based on how many other pages linked to it, and two, look at those linking sites and see how reliable they were. Because what Brin and Page realized, what their secret sauce was that an actually valuable web page was one that other people found valuable and would link to. Far more than a page that was stuffed with a bunch of crap. So, for example, if a lot of sites about hikes and hiking would link to a specific page about boots, that probably was a much better page about boots. And let's say the U.S. Geological Survey linked to that page too. Well, then it really was likely a very good page. From such things, empires are born. An insight, an idea, a tagline, a better way, a secret sauce can change the world. And if nothing else, and not insignificantly, a secret sauce can change your world. So working out of their dorm rooms, using cheap borrowed computers, maxing out their credit cards. Does it sound familiar? Larry and Sergey named their new search engine, you know it, Google, after the math term Google, Googol, which is a 1 followed by 100 zeros. And this is kind of cool. Its first URL was google.stanford.edu. So that is how Google got started. And it all came from that one little insight, that little secret sauce. And what was the value of that secret sauce? Well, Larry Brin and Sergey Page are worth a combined $100 billion today. Google's parent Alphabet is worth almost I'll sound like Dr. Evil, $1 trillion. And whoever you are, wherever you may be listening, as they say, I bet you used Google today. So there is the value of a secret sauce, how two small business guys, 2 graduate students used it to change the world. You can use it to change your world too. So let's go talk to Andrew Molz and find out what he can teach us about some Facebook ads, what he figured out, what his secret sauce is, and how you can use it to have more fun, make more money, and grow your small business on Small Business with me, Steve Strauss. Happy to have our guest with us today. We've been talking Facebook marketing all day, and Andrew Molz is one of the top Facebook ad marketers out there. In fact, Facebook itself featured the Andrew Molz agency as a success story for one of their leading strategies. So that's pretty cool. I know, first of all, Andrew, welcome to the show.
Hey there.
Great to have you. I know your story and my story are a little similar in that we like finding business. Back when I practiced law, I started my own law firm. I found that I really liked law less, and I liked getting customers, getting clients more, right? I found that more interesting than suing people and being sued. And I know that's kind of your story, right? Similarly.
Yeah. Mine is all the suing. It's definitely fun trying to get customers and trying to get new business coming in, and just the romantic idea of being able to scale and thinking, okay, if I can get 1 customer, then I can get 2, then I can get 3. But what if I double down on my ad spend? Then I could get 6 and 7 and 8.
Right. So you've had a couple different businesses, and you've been in this digital space for 6-7 years now, something like that, right?
Yeah, I actually started off way back doing credit repair, and so I got licensed and all that good stuff to start doing credit repair, and I did it, and I figured out about 3 months in that, man, I don't like doing this. This is a lot of manual work with sending letters and all that.
Right,
and I just kind of really lost interest in it. It just wasn't that fun kind of thing for me. So went into real estate and kind of dabbled in the AdWords. That wasn't that fun for me either. And it wasn't until I launched a e-commerce business, a Shopify store, and started running ads that I really kind of dialed in and figured it all out and cracked the code on what needs to be done, who needs to see what, when, and where during their customer journey in order to kind of nurture them down the funnel and get them to be a customer. And when I got that code pretty much cracked, the business exploded, did a lot in revenue. The company got acquired. And so it's, kind of led me to social media being my niche and running ads solely through social media.
So that's great. I always tell people, well, among other things I tell people, is, I got 3 pieces of advice for them if they want to grow their business. And that is market your business, and then market it some more, and then market it some more. Because if you're not out there advertising and marketing, no one's going to hear of you. Being in business for yourself is kind of like being alone in a dark room. You are there, but no one else does. And the only way to turn on the light is to advertise and market your business so people find out about it. And especially today, I think it means digital ads. And I even think more specifically, and this is what I've gotten into in some of my businesses in the last year, it means Facebook ads. So how did you specifically end up doing Facebook ads?
Facebook and being able to run ads with images, Facebook and Instagram ended up being for an e-commerce brand. It just seemed like the go-to no-brainer because if you've got, a sexy product, then you can put that product in front of people. And, if it's a good product and it's quality, it's got good reviews and all that, then all you've got to do is just purchase ads at scale. And if it's a good product, if your website does a really good job of being optimized and you've got a high conversion rate, then you just let the targeted traffic do the rest of the heavy lifting for you. And you say, I want this kind of traffic, this gender, this age, these interests, or you can use lists, and Facebook ads will go out and the pixel will hunt down those conversions for you.
So explain what you mean by that. The pixel will hunt down those conversions for you. What does that mean?
So the pixel is a script that is placed in a website's header, and what that does is every time a visitor goes to a website, it fires off and it tracks that visitor and assigns that visitor to the company or whoever's pixel that is, and that person's data is essentially stored with Facebook, and that they're a visitor of the website. Now, there's different actions that people take on websites. There's people that come to the website and they'll add to cart but never check out. There's people that'll add to cart and then they'll put their payment information, and either the card doesn't go through or they get cold feet and they abandon. And there's other people that go through with the whole process of a purchase. And Facebook tracks each one of those types of intents, segmented down. And so what we'll often do is we'll say, okay, let's only take the people who fired off the purchase conversion event because we know that those are purchasers. Let's take the last 30 days of purchaser data and let's make a 1% lookalike audience. And Facebook's going to match up around 2.1 million people that most closely resemble the traits and the deep user data that they've got information on, and match them up as people who look like purchasers. And then you run ads to that audience of that purchaser lookalike audience, and hypothetically, you should be getting a brand new pocket of people that are customers.
Look at my producer, Sarah, sitting here shaking her head, as am I, because that's really freaking brilliant, right? I mean, you're getting qualified leads of people most likely to buy what you're selling, right?
Yeah, I was going to say, so normally what most people do, if they've got a brand new website and they haven't done Facebook ads before or anything, what they'll most often do is they'll set up either a traffic objective or a conversion objective ad. I always recommend running a conversion for the most lowest intent. If I'm looking for purchases, then I'm going to set it for purchases. Most people will do interest-based on the ad set level, and so they'll target interest. So if I like baseball, maybe I target the Houston Astros, I target MLB, I target Jose Altuve, and just some other baseball related interest, because
right.
Let's say I sell baseball hats, and just because you select these interests doesn't necessarily mean that you get sales from it. It just means that somewhere, some way, a user fired off a pixel that says this person may like a page related to MLB, and it can be anything. So it's not always going to end up in the best conversions, but sometimes you might hit a winner. But the point of doing the interest-based data targeting in the beginning is so that you can start getting your website filled with traffic, and then let the rest of the traffic make their buying decisions. And then you'll start to get that purchase data coming through, because early on you don't really know what to target. So interest-based targeting is what most people go to in the beginning.
And do you recommend that they stay with interest-based targeting, or what is a more sophisticated, powerfully valuable plan after that?
No, I would say that they should do a mix. So if I was a new person, I would have a great video that explains my product in 15 seconds, and it is formatted for 1080 by 1080 format, and also for 1080 by 1920 format. So that means it's formatted for a square version for like Instagram feed and Facebook feed, and then it's also formatted for the story version. And if you keep it to 15 seconds, that means you can run it as a story, and you can run it also as a feed ad, and it follows Facebook's best practices by being under 15 seconds. So you've got that video, you run that video, and you run it for a bit, and you're doing interest-based targeting with that.
So it's a video about, let's say I sell skis and ski boots and stuff like that. So I would have a 15-second video about my great store where I sell skis, right?
Yep.
And then what?
So you've got that, you sell skis or Steve's boots.
Yeah.
So you've got that video talking about your Steve's boots. So you run that to your interest-based targeting and your interest-based ad. And then, I would say about probably 7 to 14 days later, you can switch that up and you can create a lookalike audience from people who have watched 95% of that video or 100%, whichever one is there. And you create a lookalike audience from that 95% of viewers, because you got to think to yourself, unless these people are just, oddly amused, most aren't going to watch the video all the way through if there's no intent. So this gives you a different option to create a totally different audience. And so that's what I would do in the beginning, is kind of run a video view plus interest-based. But eventually I'm going to wean myself off of the interest-based, because I'm going to start getting people who add to cart. I'm going to start getting purchasers. And if I don't have enough purchaser data, and I haven't had enough sales, then I'm probably going to run an add to cart lookalike audience, because that would have the most data points and would be the most relevant people that I could start targeting. And then when you get more purchaser data, then it might be a good time to create a purchase or lookalike audience. You go down the funnel.
Right. One thing I've been talking to people a lot about in my interviews, both podcasting and for my USA Today column, is, what's your secret sauce? And it sounds to me like one of your secret sauces is this idea of a lookalike audience. That if you can get a basic audience, then that's how you scale, because then you can get a lookalike audience, and all of a sudden you're finding really people who are highly likely to work with you, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, that's definitely one of, and there's a number of kind of secret sauce things in a way. If you talk to 10 different people who have scaled their businesses to 7 figures using social media, every one of those people is going to tell you a different thing in a different way, a different strategy.
Right.
That's the good thing about Facebook ads. There's so many different variables to switch up your ads and run some new types of ads to hit different people. I would say running lookalike audiences is definitely one way to kind of speed up the entire process with getting more customers and finding out who your customers are. Another good thing is if you've got a list and you've got, your own data of customers offline that you haven't uploaded, I would upload that list and, map out first name, last name, email address, all that good stuff, so that Facebook can create a lookalike audience based off of your list. That's another really good way to create a list. That's a great
trick. If I have a list of opt-in email subscribers, I can upload those to Facebook, and Facebook will find those people and then find a lookalike list for people who've opted in for my stuff. Is that right?
Yeah. So what I would do with that, if I'm running ads and I'm trying to get more opt-in subscribers, is that I would run an ad and I would exclude that entire list so that I'm not paying to remarket to people who are already on the list.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would use that list as a lookalike audience so that I'm hitting people that do look like people that are on the list.
Absolutely brilliant. Okay, and what was that last tip you were going to share with us?
Some of the best audiences and the most premium ones that you can hit is when, let's say you've got a shoe store, and your shoes typically, let's say your average order value is $80, and you've got all these customers and all this data. Well, if you upload a list and you segment that list out by everybody who purchased and made an order of $120 and above twice, so basically more than one purchase,
mm-hmm.
you're telling Facebook to create a lookalike audience of your most premium users who are multiple purchasers. So they're really big fans of the product and they spend a lot of money. So that often creates a really, really good list because, again, Facebook is going to match those users up based on their deep user data that looks like people who spend a lot of money and order twice.
Andrew, if people want to learn more about Facebook ads, where would you recommend they go?
There's a number of groups on Facebook themselves. I mean, if you type in like Facebook ads, you can find a whole bunch of different groups, community people. You're going to be at all different kind of levels of knowledge, but I think that would be my first start, is to go to one of those kinds of places. Don't buy a course. Everybody's trying to sell you a course.
Mm-hmm.
The information is already out there for you to learn. You really just need to get a nice product that you want to be able to sell or your service, and start thinking about it in the way that, how would I like to see an ad for my own business? What makes me laugh? What would I find engaging? You got to stop people from scrolling. You got about 2 seconds to do it. You just got to be fun and engaging. People are marketed to and advertised to about 3,000 times a day. And so marketing is all about sticking out in a professional way. And, that's the way we try and keep it, and the way we try to run our clients' ads and get them to stick out in a good way and be memorable.
We're speaking with Andrew Molz of the Andrew Molz Agency, and that's ANDREWMOLZ.com. And Andrew, you help small businesses run Facebook ads. Is that right?
Yep. So we do literally everything for Facebook ads for them.
So if people want to just have you do the heavy lifting for them and hire you to help them make money, you can do that for them, right?
Yeah, we generate the leads, we generate the sales, and you just worry about fulfilling the orders.
Well, this is fantastic. So if people want to find you, they go to andrewmolz.com, and maybe on Facebook, where would they find you?
Yeah, it's on Facebook. It's facebook.com/Andrew Molz, Instagram.com/Andrew Molz, YouTube/C/Andrew Molz, and the website andrewmolz.com.
Well, you're rocking our world today, and you're doing great work. So keep it up, and thanks so much for being with us, Andrew.
Yeah, I appreciate you for having me here, Steve.
And that is today's show. I think it was a good one. If you have a secret sauce that you'd like to share, we're collecting them right now, and I think it'll be worth your while to get some publicity for you on what yours is. So email me at sstrauss@mrallbiz.com. That's SSTRAUSS@mrallbiz.com. Try telling that to a tech person online. It's not stupid email address, really. But anyway, that's my email address, so shoot me an email. Thanks for listening.